Shalom, Shalom, Shabbat, Adonai. Welcome to the Sixth Exodus program. Thank you for listening. The name of this segment is Constantine. Okay, let's begin. There's no scripture for this segment, but I want to talk to you a little bit about this Constantine and what has happened in church history and what is concerning us, our people, Black Hebrew Israelites. Now, this Constantine was the first emperor in Rome. Actually, this Constantine is the very same person that invaded Jerusalem, and Constantine gave what is Christianity. Constantine is the father of Christianity. Constantine invaded Jerusalem and moved the church from Jerusalem to Rome, Italy. This is how most of everything in the world exists now because of Constantine. I want to talk to you and tell you that you've heard of the fall of the Roman Empire. Well, the fall of the Roman Empire is it didn't happen immediately when it did fall. Um, During the Roman Empire, they when it did fall, the empire was so large. I mean, it was like covered the majority of the world, and the um, the empire was called the East and the West. So what happened? The Western Empire fell, but the Eastern Empire did not fall. Now, when the fall of the Western Empire was implemented, um, the Eastern Empire kept going. Now, this is what happened. Is concerning history. The When the white people, as far as the known world at that time, see, when people had read the Bible, they automatically assumed that Jerusalem, that God's people were white. Don't know why that is, but they assume that they're white. Maybe it was because of the Assyrians, the Chaldeans, and people that are in the Middle East. Now, Sargon was by name conquered a vast part of the world, but at that time known to them the world, but it was very small. It's about the size of Serbia, which is in Serbia in the Black Sea in Russia. That's all he had conquered. He didn't conquer Africa or Asia or anything. It was just the size of Serbia. But mostly a lot of people at that time um, that was warring factions um, because of Sargon, and Sargon was an Assyrian. Now, if you look at the times that our ancestors, Hebrew, when I say our, I mean Hebrew, that were slaves, the, the first Egypt, of course, they were black, and Assyrians, Assyrians, which is Babylon. Nineveh is was a city in the province of Babylon. And Nebuchadnezzar, of course, we know was the first the king at that time. Now there were so many wars and clan members at this time that was fighting. Um, the place that is called Babylon. Many people had fought in this area. Now the name of Babylon is also in our English language and known to the majority of the world. Is It's called Babylon. It's the same. It's the same thing. Same empire. Babylon in the Bible is called Babylon, and the social education system is called Mesopotamia. It has been the name. It's the same. It's synonymous, and you had different kingdoms at different times. They would war and they would rule. Most civilizations, when they established the war, they wanted this piece of land so bad that when they won wars and established their kingdom in Babylon. This happened many times because of the Assyrians, the Medes, the Persians, um, and of course the Assyrians and the Chaldeans. These people fought all the time. This all they knew how to do was to fight, and so they would drive their people out of the land, and they would inhabit the land, which is called Babylon or Mesopotamia. Now, concerning the uh, Constantine, Constantine, um, what our ancestors had established in um, before Christ and after Christ, and Rome came and built all of their buildings and monuments and statues and all these things. They they took our books, our teachings, and Constantine took them and they established the church in Rome. That's how Rome became to be what it is today because of Constantine. Now, concerning the cross and the garments and things, they have all those things from us. They want to be us. They want to. They destroyed um, all of our teachings except the ones they wanted for themselves. As far as for white people having the religion, the gospel for them, they admired it and they wanted it, but not to have us there. They want to replace us with themselves. Now, concerning the Eastern Empire or um, the eastern part of Rome, which is also called the Eastern Orthodox and the Western Orthodox. The Western Orthodox went into what they call the Middle East, went into um, the Dark Ages when the Western Empire fell. But the Eastern Empire is known as the Byzantine Empire. Now, the Byzantine Empire is known a lot by the Russians. They was a large part of the Eastern Empire. And I want to tell you this thing about the Byzantine Empire, which is Eastern Orthodox. They kept the teachings of our ancestors, and they also kept a large amount of paintings. They are called, the paintings are called, you can find them on the website. It's called the Byzantine Empire Black Hebrew Israelites icons. And they have the history, paintings history of our ancestors. They are the only people, as far as I know, that have and that does. And I believe that the Eastern Orthodox or Russian have these paintings of our ancestors, and they are beautiful, and they have learned our ways very much more than the Western. Now, the Western Empire, which is the Roman Catholic Church, has changed all of the paintings and of our ancestors and put white people's faces on there. All the paintings, they have paintings, and they've learned the paintings, but they've changed them into white people faces, as if the Roman Catholic Church has always been there. And so this is what Constantine has done. Even the story of the cross. If you see the icons in the Byzantine Empire, something also very interesting about the Byzantine Empire is that in Russia they name a lot of their cities and their capital, their towns after our ancestors. For example, Saint Petersburg, and they've remained very true to the cause of our ancestors in preserving these icons. They speak volumes. You heard the saying, a picture speaks 1,000 words. When you see these icons of Russia, the Byzantine Empire, now the world history, you can tell how the world has really supported Rome and white people faces, but not ours. And the objectives of the white people against us. Well, I can't actually say white people because Russians would be considered as white and could be misunderstood. But well, we know for sure that Byzantine Empire are white, but they're not all white the same. White people are not all the same. They're not all the same race. They're not the same people. I'll tell you where they came from. Um, the descendants of Japhet is Russia. I want to tell you a secret on why I believe not only are they Japhet, but they might be closer than you think. There are some rivers that are in Russia around the Black Sea that I want to tell you about. Um, the Black Sea has there are rivers that goes into the Black Sea, and all of them begin with the letter D, except one. Well, two, except two. And I want to tell you these rivers and tell you that there's something interesting about them. I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something. Okay, these are the name of the rivers that flows into the Black Sea that are in Russia. The Danube, Don, Danister, Dnieper, Bug, and Kuban. These are the rivers that flows into the Black Sea. And what is interesting is that the name of name of these cities starts with the letter D. So I want to share, and also the fact that the Eastern Orthodox Church have kept our oil paintings even until today. How our ancestors looked in their paintings, and they have them in museums in Russia. They've had some art gallery shows here in America, but you would never know about them. It's an interesting part is that the Byzantine Empire, you don't know anything about them, but the Western, you would know all of their scholars. For example, Aristotle, um, and Clement of Rome, and um, all the Roman um, writers and thinkers, the philosophers. They, you know their names all well, but as far as the Eastern Orthodox, which is Russia, you don't know anything about them, the philosophers, the painters, or anything. But their culture lasted much longer than the Western Orthodox. But little history is known about their philosophers, the art, or anything. You can see how, not because they was more advanced, it's because they was ostracized and their education system was not put into the um, the world, the world's knowledge concerning um, us, who we are, because they didn't want us to know who we are. But Russia knew who we are and who we were, and they have been faithful, and I really appreciate them um, cultivating and and respecting our race and our people all these years. And I wanted to just share with you concerning this Constantine and what um, uh, what they done to us and our ancestors, and taking what God has established in Jerusalem and taking it and putting it into the Roman Church. But you know what? They have done it to themselves. They have done it. They have brought damnation and judgment upon themselves. And they created their own religion. They have brought damnation upon themselves. You have created your own religion. You have made your own holidays. You have made your own sects, your own religion, and you have brought damnation upon yourselves. The greed and the hatred toward one people It's amazing. But that is what it happened in church history concerning this Constantine, the Eastern Orthodox and the Western Orthodox. But the icons, the Byzantine Empire icons of black Hebrew Israelites, it has paintings of a lot of our ancestors. And I don't know how accurate the naming of the ancestors are, but they have a picture of Elijah, and Elijah is Chinese. I don't know how true that is, but one of the paintings is paintings of Elijah. It's Chinese. Okay. This is a segment concerning Constantine and the Eastern Orthodox Church and the fall of the Roman Empire and how our faith and customs ended up in the hands of the Roman Catholic Church, and why we've been kept here as slaves and not the world to know our identity. But thanks to Russia, and of course in America, we're going to be hated even more because Russia has done these things for us and not kept us in isolation as Americans in the rest of the world have. And I appreciate that. But judgment is coming. Judgment is coming. It is nice to know that you're on the right team and on the right side, and that you don't have to worry about being eliminated from the face of the earth. It's nice to know that you have made the right choice. Okay, I want to end this segment now. I've said all I need to do to make my argument, and I want to say thank you. And I love the icons very much. Thank you. Have a good day. Mitzvah.